William Ruto today has signed the Value-Added Tax Amendment Bill 2026 into law at State House in Nairobi. The new law reduces VAT on petrol, diesel and kerosene from 16% to 8%. The reduction will last for a period of 3 months. The bill was earlier approved by the National Assembly to help lower fuel prices and ease the cost of living to Kenyans. Kenyans are expected to benefit from reduced transport and energy costs during this period.
Nutshell, Your Excellency, this bill amends Section 6 of the VAT Act. Currently, Section 6 of the VAT Act permits the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury to vary VAT by a percentage not higher than 25%. That's the standard VAT, which is currently set by law at 16%. But conscious that the 25% may not be able to cushion Kenyans appropriately, the National Assembly responded to your request last evening and amended the VAT Act to provide that the VAT rate applicable to the petroleum and petroleum products for a period of 90 days shall be at 8%. The bill is also conscious, the House is also conscious, Your Excellency, that should the situation persist beyond the 90 days, there may be need to extend the VAT rate further, and therefore it permits the Cabinet Secretary to extend, should the situation persist, by a further 90 days. The bill is to come into effect, Your Excellency, on 15th of this month, being the date contained in your request to the National Assembly, Your Excellency. It is hoped that this bill will therefore cushion Kenyans from the knock-off effect of the rising cost in the petroleum products, given the situation in the Middle East. Excellency, I seek your leave to end my commission for the day.
Your Excellency, sir, in concluding our day's ceremony, and as a mark of this legislative milestone, Your Excellency is most graciously invited to hand over a copy of the bill to the Prime Cabinet Secretary, to the Attorney General for publication into law, to the Cabinet Secretary for Energy and Petroleum, and to the Speaker of the National Assembly, and to each of the esteemed members who have witnessed the ceremony as the guardians of the law.
And the Archbishop of the Good News of African Church, Raphael Nzuki Kivuka, has urged the government to reduce fuel prices to make them more affordable for ordinary Kenyans, especially low-income earners. He said the rising cost of fuel is increasing the cost of living and making daily life difficult for many Kenyans. Archbishop Kituva also called for the removal of gangs from political meetings, saying they threaten peace and security. He urged leaders to ensure political activities remain peaceful and safe for all.
Tumeona malumbano, mapigano, watu wakituzi wale wengine, wengine wakidharau wale wengine, wale wako serikalini na wale wako kwa upinzani. Hiyo kama kanisa tumekataa kabisa kabisa. Huo sio mwelekeo ambao Mungu anaweza kukubali. Kwa hivyo hiyo tabia ikome na ikome kabisa. Vile vile ningemuuliza Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, ajaribu kuunganisha inchi. Wakati haujafika wakakupiga kura ni mwaka ujao. Kwa hivyo kabla hatujafika huko, ajaribu. Tumeona malumbano, mapigano, watu wakituzi wale wengine, wengine wakidharau wale wengine, wale wako serikalini na wale wako kwa upinzani. Hiyo kama kanisa tumekataa kabisa kabisa. Huo sio mwelekeo ambao Mungu anaweza kukubali. Kwa hivyo hiyo tabia ikome na ikome.
And the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Aden Duale, has directed the Board of Management at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital to urgently address the challenges affecting healthcare workers at the facility. He emphasized the need for improved working conditions and better coordination within the hospital to ensure smooth delivery of health services. The directive comes amid growing concerns from medical staff over workplace issues that have impacted service delivery. The ministry says that the board is expected to engage relevant stakeholders and provide lasting solutions to the problem facing the institution.
Most important pillar of universal health coverage and its success, it's human resource. Wafanyakazi wetu, wahudumu wa afya. Na ndio nilipokuwa waziri, maneno ya strike katika Afya House nimemaliza. Internship, kila kitu. Na mimi pia nauliza county governments, the way Mheshimiwa Gavana amesema over 700 healthcare workers will be transited to permanent and pensionable. We want to also urge all our governors to make sure that healthcare workers are given priority.
My administration has already trained 2 radiologists and 10 radiographers on its operations, ensuring this machine will serve the community 24/7. We are transforming Bungoma County Teaching and Referral Hospital into a center of excellence, a place where no patient will be forced to share a bed and where every life is treated with dignity and
Now, the Senate Health Committee has raised concerns over the condition of several health facilities in Nandi County. The committee said many of the facilities are facing serious challenges that are affecting healthcare services. During its assessment, the committee noted problems such as lack of essential medicines, inadequate equipment, and shortage of health workers in some facilities. These issues were described as urgent and requiring immediate attention. The committee has urged the county government to move quickly to address the gaps and ensure residents receive quality health care. It also emphasized the need for stronger coordination between national and county health officials to improve service delivery.
Na Metete tumeona iko changamoto kiasi ambayo inahitaji serikali ya county kwa kiwango ya CC na chief officer waitilie maanani. Na hii ni ripoti tutapatia governor ili aweze kukaza watu wake waweze kufanya. Pale tumeona tuna changamoto ya mambo ya madawa, tuna changamoto ya mambo ya chanjo ya watoto, na tuna changamoto ya mambo ya maintenance kwa hiyo hospitali ya sub county ya Metete.
We must ensure there is a steady supply of drugs. Tumefika kwa hospitali, tumepata vitu mingi zimeletwa usiku. Mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa chairman, nilikuwa hapa saa 6 hii town, saa 7 usiku, nikapata ya kwamba walikuwa wanashukisha madawa na zile mablankets na tumepata zingine zikionekana. So what I want to encourage the county to do is do the right thing before we come.
I want to plead with them that we need to have a lot of sympathy for our poor people. We are treating our poor people badly, and yet they don't deserve that. Some of the officers are working very hard, they are doing an excellent job. Those who are not, I just want to persuade them. These are our brothers, cousins, mothers, and aunties and uncles. When our hospital is well, then the county is well.
Hali ya afya si kuzuri. Ukikuta kule Metete kuna shida. Ukikuja kule Nandi Hills, they are suffering the same problem. Na vile vile hapa Kapsabet pia. Hapa wadi nyingine ili kuweza kupunguza idadi ya watu ambao wamejumuisha pamoja kwa.
And moving on, members of the National Liberation Party have the recent attacks against the opposition, saying that they're part of a plan to intimidate political rivals in the country. The party's leader, Dr. Augustine Muli, has called on President William Ruto to take firm action against what he described as hooliganism and those who fund them. Dr. Muli warned that if the situation continues, it could lead to unrest and weaken Kenya's democratic system. He urged authorities to act quickly to ensure peace and protect political freedoms in the country.
Excellency, the president holds rallies, there is order. When government allies gather, there is calm. When state functions are convened, there is maximum security. But when the opposition assembles, and when the dissenting voices assemble anywhere, there is violence, disruption, and goons have a field day. And so the question becomes inevitable and unavoidable. Who are these goons? Who sends them? Who protects them? Because patterns do not lie.
And meanwhile, voter registration is ongoing across the country as authorities encourage eligible citizens to take part in the democratic processes. However, some government departments have raised concerns over claims being spread alleging that the exercise is designed to benefit the government in the upcoming general elections. Officials have dismissed these claims, calling them misleading and aimed at confusing the public and discouraging participation. They are urging citizens to ignore misinformation and instead turn out in large numbers to register as voters, saying the process is fair, transparent, and open to all eligible Kenyans. Authorities also emphasize peaceful participation in all electoral activities as preparations for the next general elections continue.
This is not politics. You see, katiba yetu inasema kwamba the only way we can exercise our democratic right is by voting. Si ni kweli? Na voting haiwezi kufanyika kama hujapata nini? Hujapata kura. Si ni kweli? Na kura haiwezi kufanyika kama hujapata kitambulisho. Kwa hivyo wakati tunaambia wananchi jitokezeni na mjiandikishe, we are not campaigning. We are not playing politics. We are discharging our mandate as government officers.
Wengi sana nalalamika kuhusu ID. ID saizi zimetoka, Huduma Center ziko nyingi na zimepelekwa kwa machiefs. Kwa hivyo naomba vijana wenzangu waende kwa chiefs, waende wakachukue ID zao zenye ambayo walifanya application.
Ile imani ambayo tumekuwa nayo wakati Vice Chair wa IBC amefika hapa imetutia motisha mzuri sana kwamba yeye pia anatoa thamani.
And a new group of women activists has been launched in Nairobi with the aim of rallying support for President William Ruto's second term agenda. The movement says it will focus on promoting government development programs and ensuring the public receives what it describes as accurate information about national leadership. The group also claims that it will change what it terms as misinformation coming from political opponents, saying it wants to encourage informed public debate and unity. Members say they plan to expand their outreach across different parts of the country through community engagements and digital platform to popularize their message.
Kwa maneno peke yake ataheshimiwa kwa sababu tutaonyesha ile kazi ambayo amefanya. Rais anakuja na scorecard, wala wanakuja na maneno. Sisi tumeamua hatutaenda kwa maneno, tutaenda nyumba kwa nyumba, tutaenda kwa masoko, tutaenda pale Ushago Murang'a, tuwaongeleshe na Kikuyu, tuwaambie barabara ambazo rais amejenga.
Sisi tunasema siasa ya ukabila ni siasa nini? Siasa duni. Tunasema sisi kama wamama wa Trump Brigade tuko na kabila zote hapa, tumeshikana kwa mlengo wa kabila zote. Sasa huwezi kuja kuniambia nipige jirani yangu.
Niko Kadis, si movement ya kutoa Ruto, juu kila mtu ako na haki ya kutoa opinion yake.
And to some good news, the Kwale County government has launched the drilling and installation of 28 solar-powered boreholes in different parts of the county to improve access to clean water. Governor Fatuma Achani said the initiative is aimed at ensuring residents, especially in remote areas, have a reliable and sustainable water supply. The use of solar energy will help reduce costs and ensure continuous operation even in areas without electricity. The project is expected to benefit households, livestock keepers and farmers by improving water availability and supporting economic activities. The county government has encouraged residents to protect the facility to ensure they serve community for a long term.
Katika mradi huu ambao tunafanya na REREC tunatengeneza ball 28 ndani ya jimbo hili. Kuna kwengine ambako boli zimewekwa hand pump, tulitengeneza tukaweka hand pump. Katika mradi huu tunaenda kuondoa hiyo hand pump, tunaenda kuwekea sola, na hapa tutatengeneza mradi wa sola, tuweke sola hapa, lakini si sola pekee, pia tutaweka generator.
My work here today is to hand over the site to the contractor so that the work can start. The work will go for only 6 months. Within the 6 months, the work should be complete.
Tumekuwa na shida ya maji sana. Wamama wetu wametaabika sana kutafuta maji. hizi pipe za Kenya Water tulikuwa tunapata mara moja kwa mwezi, tena ni kwa masaa tu kidogo. Lakini saa hii kwa vile huu mradi utafunguliwa hapa ukiwa tayari, tutasaidika vya
Now, a section of elders from the Rift Valley region have issued a strong warning to politicians against using hired guns to intimidate and attack their opponents. Speaking in Nakuru County, the elders expressed concerns that such actions could easily push the country back into a cycle of electoral violence. They emphasized the need for peaceful political engagement, especially as the country prepares for upcoming political activities. The elders made these remarks ahead of the anticipated Linda Mwananchi rally set to take place in Nakuru City. They called on leaders to uphold integrity, respect the rule of law, and prioritize the safety of citizens. Residents have also been urged to remain vigilant and avoid being used to fuel conflict, as the elders urged the importance of unity and peaceful coexistence during the political season.
Msijaribu kuja kusuia vile mtu anakuja kusema. Na nyinyi naye watu ya hapa mulete peace, mtangazie wale wakuje wafanye peace. Sasa kama nyinyi wenyewe ndio mnanunua kuni, ndio aje apige wale, kuna kitu ambao umetusaidia.
Rift Valley region ikianzia shwa, nchi yote inaharibika. Wale mnasema ni goons. There is nobody, hakuna mtu anaitwa goon. Hata mimi naweza itwa goon. Goons are nothing else except political machination ya politicians.
Wale watu wana fad goons wawekwe ndani na wakataswe kusimama ikiwa ni politician.
Kwa nini mtu ambao serikali anasikia mtu akiongea matope ama anatukana mtu mwingine, mbona hii jamaa asikwi? Kwani yeye ndio baba law ama hakuna laws ya kushika hii mtu?
And moving on, the National Assembly Public Investment Committee on Commercial Affairs and Energy has expressed concerns over the poor performance of the Hadado mini-grid plant in Wajir West. The committee says the facility is not delivering electricity as expected, raising questions about its efficiency and value for public investment. Members noted that the plant output has not matched the need for local community, limiting access to reliable power. They have called for urgent action to address technical and operational challenges affecting the mini-grid. The committee is pushing for accountability and improvements to ensure the project serves its intended purpose to supporting energy access in Wajir West.
KPLC SCA-MD, he told me that will be fixed within 1 month. And now it is 8 months down the line. Now watu hawajapata stima. It's unfortunate that the people of Wajir West and some parts of this country can't be treated the way they are treated today.
Sisi tunaona kwamba kuna kuzembea kwa kazi. Kwa sababu hata tumekuja kuangalia hii watu walitafuta batteries ile nyingine. Ile hii si ya stima hii. Walitafuta batteries nyingine fake. Mimi nasema namna hiyo. Kwa sababu hiyo sio batteries ile ingetakana. Katika lugha ya Kiingereza walitakana kuweka batteries ambazo zinaita lithium batteries. Wakaweka ile batteries ya gari.
Wako wapi wale watu wa Kenya Power? Sasa wale bubu mmekuwa mkiongea na hawa ni Kenya Power na Rerek. Na mimi nataka kuwauliza leo, nyinyi bado ni bubu ama masikio imefunguka?
Now, in business news, Kenya's capital market are starting to explore a lesser-known opportunity called Securities Lending and Borrowing, or SLB. The system allows investors to lend out shares they are not currently using and earn extra income from them. At the same time, SLB helps improve how prices are determined in the market by increasing trading activity and liquidity. This can make the market more efficient and attractive to both local and foreign investors. Regulators and industry players are now working to promote this mechanism and encourage wider participation. They see it as a useful tool to deepen the market and unlock additional value for investors. However, adoption in Kenya is still low. Many investors are not fully aware of how SLB works, while others face operational challenges that make participation difficult. With more education and improved systems, SLB could become a valuable part of Kenya's financial market in the future.
SLB is well grounded and established elsewhere in countries, especially in the US and Europe. Japan. Its adoption and extensive usage in Kenya remains a challenge. We at CMA have in place the current capital markets securities lending, borrowing, and short selling regulations 2017, which provide a broad framework for SLB and, of course, CDSC managing the process.
And more than 30 civil society groups are increasing pressure on the World Bank Group to reconsider its approach to funding agriculture. They argue that too much investment is currently directed towards industrial livestock production, which they believe has negative impacts on people, animal, and the environment. Instead, the groups are calling for a shift towards small-scale and sustainable food systems. According to the campaigners, these alternatives can promote healthier communities, protect animals' welfare, and at the same time support environmental conservation. As the calls for change grow louder, the debate over the future of agricultural funding continue.
In the past 2023-2024, there was a statistic that $1.4 billion is that we can find an alternative that is more sustainable. Overly on imported feeds, it relies on the use of antibiotics, and it also relies on a centralized supply chain system. Ideally, we are talking about seeing an alternative that can work together with nature and with the communities and not against it. So, for example, agroecological approaches, they promote diversity, growing different crops together and integrating livestock in a sustainable way, and also reducing the reliance of chemical inputs or chemical products.
Now, Kenya's grain milling industry is facing a serious challenge. Millers who follow safety rules and fortify their flour say their costs are rising. As a result, their products are almost twice as expensive as a non-compliant flour. This price difference is creating unfair competition, and safe flour, which does not meet required standards, is still being sold in the market at a lower prices. Many consumers choose the cheaper option, even though it may not be safe. At the center of the problem is aflatoxin contamination, is a harmful substance found in poorly stored grains. It poses a major risk to public health and can lead to serious illness. Millers are now calling for stronger enforcement of safety regulations. They say all players in the market should follow the same rules to protect consumers and ensure fair competition.
We are faced with the problems of aflatoxin every single day in our milling processes. And this is a problem. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it, but it exists. And as millers of the association, it has been a very tough job to actually manage this problem. Sadly, a lot of these people buying it are under the radar, under the regulatory radar. Whereas the consistent millers who have brands who they need to protect are constantly going to be raising the bar on testing. There are a lot of others who are happily receiving contaminated grain. And this is where we have a serious problem, because this contaminated grain is still reaching our food chains. How do we decontaminate? And there's good news as well. There are options now that we're looking at decontaminating using ozone technology, which is just like an oxygen technology, to actually decontaminate this very maize that would come back into our plates and cause us a lot of health problems. We are faced with the problems of aflatoxin every single day in our milling processes.
And as the 2027 election cycle approaches, President William Ruto's administration faces growing fiscal pressure. The latest budget policy statement for the 2026-2027 financial year reveals a sharp increase in government spending, now projected at 4.7 trillion Kenyan shillings, up by 435 billion shillings from the recent year. Despite this rise, revenue growth has not kept pace, creating a widening gap and raising concerns about sustainability. Education once again takes the largest share of the budget, reinforcing its priority in national development. However, agriculture, often described as the backbone of Kenya's economy, continues to receive relatively limited funding. Analysts warn that underinvestment in this sector could affect food security and rural livelihoods. And finally, it's a wrap for EBN News at 1 p.m. Many thanks for watching. I'm LETICIA AFANDI. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.